You had a dream, what does it mean? I knew it, but I couldn't say. Sun overhead, we're still in bed, nowhere to be at all.
So I noticed that you're doing really awesome work on Reddit's public access network, and you've become really popular there. So I was wondering if you could talk a bit about your sort of Reddit journey and how you were able to like carve out a space for yourself on the platform.
Yeah, absolutely. So we kind of started streaming in Reddit because of the pandemic. We had a national tour planned, and it got absolutely wiped out in the span of a week. We were going to play at South by Southwest. And so we were like, oh, what do we do? So we decided to start streaming on Instagram first, and then noticed that we weren't really playing to anyone new. It was just kind of the same few people tuning in every time. And it's great to play in front of your fans who love you. Like, that is awesome. But at the end of the day, when you tour, and what we were supposed to be doing at that time was touring, you're looking to, reach new audiences. And we weren't doing that. So one night I was scrolling on my phone. I noticed that there was this Reddit stream going on, and this guy had like 5,000 or 6,000 people watching him at a time. And I was like, that's a pretty, substantial amount of people. So I brought it up to the guys, and then we didn't do anything about it for like 2 months. And then we came back around to it like a month later, and we said, oh yeah, we were gonna like try streaming on Reddit. Let's like just do it. After speaking with like kind of a mutual friend of the band who also had noticed the streams, he was talking about doing it as well. So I was like, all right, well, I saw it, someone else, saw it, so maybe it is a good idea. And first couple times we had moderate success. I think the first one we had like 2,000 people watch. The second one was like 40,000, which is pretty cool. We were excited about that. The third one was like 384,000 people tuned in. So we were just like blown away.
Your new song, King of My Heart, is out on Friday. Super exciting. And I understand that a really important part of the song is being LGBTQ plus friendly and its use of queer lyrics. And I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about the creative process behind the song, maybe share a little bit of insight with us.
Yes. So the instrumental been kicking around for a very long time for this one, actually. A lot of our songs start this way, where Matt will demo out something, maybe a verse and a chorus, that then I will sit with for a while and see if there's a hook there that I can find, I can grab out of the ether, and then it makes sense to build it into a whole song. And so we found a hook for this one. The lyrics come last with a lot of things, with a lot of our songs, and that was the case with this as well. And by the time we had finished sort of demoing this one out, it had these like fun little brassy horns in the choruses that we eventually turned into a full horn section. And I was just like, this is the most fun, ridiculous, flamboyant song that we may have ever made. And I wanted the lyrical content to reflect that. And we've always sort of been like, we've always sort of danced on that edge. I am bi. There is another queer member in the band as well. And we just like, I like to bring that stuff to the forefront when possible, because I think that it speaks to our audience in a real like direct way. And it's like it's who I am, and I have to sing the words, so why not? And that line I ripped obviously from a Taylor Swift song, which is also very good, but I thought that I could repurpose it and make it a little winky and do a lot of fun references to other kings of fiction. Like there's a Lion King reference in one of the verses. So I thought it came together really well. It's a very fun song, and I think we all fell in love with it like the first time that we heard it all put together.
As things start to slowly reopen, are you guys excited to tour in person? I was talking to Fiona, your PR manager, and she told me that you're doing a performance in DC at the end of May. Like, what excites you the most about being able to like actually go back and do that in person? And will you continue streaming on Reddit, and you want to do both, or what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, we've got lots of plans. So, and we're very, very excited for it too. So, I mean, we're a live band. That's our thing. Is like performing live in front of people that's the most fun that we have as a group. So we have sorely missed not touring. And as things start to open up, we are planning. We're planning tours now. So it can be a little bit complicated getting venues to commit to certain days. Is it going to be safe? We don't want to create a bunch of super spreaders. Like, we're very cognizant of that. We want everybody to be safe, and we do have touring plans. So those are coming. But the show that we are playing in May is going to be a blast. It's going to be outdoors. We are. I think we're going to have quite a few people there. So like you mentioned, we're streaming on Reddit. We have a lot of new people who have never seen us or heard of us before. And quite a few of them are within driving distance of that show. So hopefully we're going to be meeting a lot of people who are just usernames on the internet who we've never seen. We don't know what they look like. We don't know what they sound like. We don't know how old they are. We don't know anything. Yeah, they're going to be coming, and we're going to put names and faces to usernames, which is going to be fun. And we also have talked about live streaming while we're on tour. So live streaming now we've become quite good at it, I think. And we're really proud of the live stream show that we've cultivated, and the environment and the community. And we do want to preserve that, and we want to keep it going. And we also want to tour too. So we're considering, like, hey, on off days we could rent an Airbnb and like do a live show, or like we could do it from the hotel room, or we could do it like, we could meet somebody at somewhere and like stream from their house. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of endless possibilities. So yeah, we're trying to keep everything safe, trying to do everything properly per CDC and everything like that. We're all vaccinated, so we're good to go there. But yeah, we are very, 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 very stoked to be playing in front of real humans again. That's going to be a blast.
I was kind of wondering, what is your best memory about your journey as a band so far? Do you have a particular moment or, performance that stands out in mind or something?
For me, it's now several years old, but I still get a kick out of remembering our experience playing Firefly in 2017. And that's something that we'd love to get back to. We kind of haven't had the opportunity. Like, we toured over the summer 2 years ago, and then last year was last year. And festivals have not been a thing for a while. I'd love to get back to doing some of that, because that was sort of our first exposure to being a real band in a lot of ways. Like, we had never been on tour prior to playing that festival. We had not. Many of us still had like day jobs that we were dedicating most of our time to, and that sort of like, I think, put us on a different trajectory of like, oh, we could do this for real, and like people like it. And also it was just a blast. Like, you could wave down a golf cart and they would take you anywhere you wanted to go. So I want to do more of that too, but that's probably it for me.
Yeah, I mean that's like maybe everybody's. we saw Jared Leto like fly in on a helicopter, like.
Pretty hard to do.
Yes, we were confined to where we were told by security to stay put because Jared Leto's helicopter was landing and we couldn't go back in for a few minutes.
Sorry, Matt, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say that Firefly experience was absolutely wild. But one of my other favorite experiences when we came back after the first time we hit the road. So we played like our homecoming show basically on the tour at DC9, and it was just absolutely sold out like a couple weeks, I think, before we actually got there. And wow, that was just a crazy show. It feels so weird because like now we play in front of hundreds of thousands of people, but that show is always a lot more special than probably most of the live streams we've done, for me personally.
Yeah, another one, yeah, it's hard to pick like a number one, but something that I always like to think back on is when we were on tour. Tour is just awesome, by the way. The whole thing was great, but we spent an off day, and we went to Niagara Falls, which was super fun. We were not expecting it. I love these like impromptu last minute, like, oh, we have time, it's on the way, we can go do this cool thing. I love those, and I'd never been to Niagara Falls. I really wanted to go. And we made the time, and we went all six of us and our photographer friend, longtime friend Ryan now, shout out to him. Yeah, it was just super fun. We all just like enjoyed the day, and I really love that memory.
I know music probably takes up the majority of your time and then some, but do you have any hobbies outside of making music? Any like quarantine activities you picked up?
I picked up about 10 pounds.
Did you put it back down?
I'm getting there. No, I've been a runner since I was in high school. I did cross country, and then I started doing marathons when I was in college, and I love that. It's been a part of my life since then. I am not in that kind of shape anymore, so now it's just a thing that I do, not a thing that I am good at. But that is probably the majority of my time that is not music and not doom scrolling is running.
Yeah, a few of us are pretty active. I like to exercise a lot too. Yeah, other than music,
We're all video game nerds as well, or some of us are anyway.
yeah.
Like I have put too many hours into Smash this last 6 months for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if I call it a hobby or like a stress activity, but I do it.
I went through Breath of the Wild twice, which is Legend of Zelda, so that was a good time.
Yeah, dude. My ultimate favorite.
I
Yeah.
probably still have time to get through it again before we go on tour.
Yeah. Well, my part-time work, we all make money in different ways, but my part-time work is mechanical engineering. So I went and got a physics degree, and I've been so I really love physics and I love like technical stuff. So I like online classes when I find the time. Like, how do you code stuff? How do you automate stuff? And how do you build things? I've never built a robot, but I really like the idea of robotics. Yeah, I don't know. I like all that kind of nerdy stuff too.
What was the first song you ever wrote or performed?
Ooh.
It depends
Fun
what.
Depends on which era.
So the does anyone remember what the first song we played at the Same Train release show is? Because technically that's probably the
Yes.
first song that Sub Radio played.
It would have been intro because we played the album start to finish.
Yeah, that's right.
My God, you're so right. I can't believe we played that.
Our debut album that was released in 2016, we put out all at once with no singles because we didn't know what we were doing. We just sort of dropped it on the day that we had a release show. We were like, well, surely the show will rocket us to fame. And we just played the album straight through. So the first song that Sub Radio played as Sub Radio was just the first track on that album, which is called Intro, and I don't think we've ever played it again.
I don't think so.
The band has been around longer than that. We've like gone through different names and lineups and stuff. It's been most of the same guys, but man,
The first Sub Radio song, though.
the first song that I ever wrote, I was in 7th grade, and it was just a mashup of lines from other songs, like classic rock songs, because that's what I listened to in 7th grade, and I thought it was very clever. It was a song about how cool music is.
Wait, why haven't we heard that? I want to hear it.
Yeah, I'll dig it back up. I'll demo it. Maybe we can put it on the album.
That's a Patreon song right there. If I've ever heard it.
Wait, Matt, what were you going to say? The first Sub Radio song?
I was gonna say the first Sub Radio song probably would have been "Never Gonna Change." I think. 'Cause I think that was written like in 2014, but we didn't officially start Sub Radio until 2016. We did play that a few times before we formed as Sub Radio.
That's absolutely like the oldest song that we've ever released. That was written
And
like
still
when we were all
play.
in college. Yeah.
It's like 5 or 6 years old now, maybe longer, maybe like 7. It's crazy.
Yeah, wow.
Okay, my last question for you all is, if you could collaborate with anyone, living or dead, who would it be? I'll give you a couple choices each, because I know it's a tough one.
One living, one dead. Go.
My living is gonna be the 1975, I think, because I love them and their production. I think it would be really cool to be in the studio with them and see how they work and operate, and pick George's mind, and see what Maddie makes up on the spot, that kind of stuff. I'll have to think on the dead one for a second, so maybe you guys can chime in with some livings.
I mean, I totally agree on 1975. I'm trying to pick a different answer so we don't all say the same thing. I would love to actually collaborate with Phoebe Bridgers. I have seen her do some really interesting stuff with other artists. Kind of her whole career right now, actually, is like doing stuff with other people. She did a whole album with Conor Oberst. She did a whole album or an EP with Lucy Dacus and Julian Baker, which is still like one of my favorite things ever. She did a song on Paul McCartney's album, and she just seems like very on the edge of what is happening right now. And I like those kinds of people. So that'd be super cool.
Well, mine, as far as living goes, one of my favorite artists, who I think is just supremely talented guy, and production and songwriting, and yeah, he's just like kind of one of those do-it-all guys. Is John Bellion, and he collaborating with him seems like an amazing, like out of this world experience. Yeah, he just seems like such a larger than life guy, and the music that he makes is amazing. So yeah, I'd love to get in the room with him. Does anybody have any dead ones?
I have kind of an interesting one that I was thinking about. Maybe Amy Winehouse might have been interesting to collaborate with.
That is.
She's got a crazy awesome voice, and I would love to hear her like singing on something that we wrote potentially with her, and Mark Ronson if you wanted to.
I don't know. Johann Sebastian Bach. I bet he'd be really fun to collaborate with.
How do you know he's
Yeah.
dead?
Yeah, I'm gonna say Marvin Gaye, mostly because then it would mean that he's alive and we get more Marvin Gaye music.
Awesome. Well, I don't want to keep you guys too much longer. That was my last question. Thank you so much for carving out this time to talk to Planet LA Records. We really appreciate it. Very excited for Friday. Have your song pre-saved.
Yeah.
You